Hey guys, Mr. Overon here with Mr. Overon's Tarot Reading Services. And today I have got to kind of revisit some past stuff that I have talked about. You all know that I have taken a student under my wing and that I've been working with this person for about 4 years now, and over the last couple of days they had a complete and total mental breakdown. It was fuck this, fuck that, what good is it doing me to follow this path or this teaching style or whatever else when nothing has changed for me. I've been doing this for 1.5 years and blah, 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 blah. And before I started doing all this, things would work out for me and I didn't have to light a candle or pray to this god or this saint or to the universe, this, that, or the other thing. So why should I continue to do it? It's just a big waste of time. Well, I had to sit down and talk with my student about this, and this is something that we have all experienced or will experience at some point on our journey. First and foremost, it takes time to get yourself initiated into the craft. If you haven't been born into it or haven't had that teaching since birth or whatever, and you don't make this spiritual path a lifestyle, then you are going to struggle more so than others. Going to Barnes & Noble and picking up a Wicca book or a book on witchcraft or whatever else, reading it and practicing some of the spells does not make you a witch. That doesn't do much of anything. Just like me going out and reading all of Jane Austen and Edgar Allan Poe doesn't make me a literary scholar. It gives me basic knowledge of those people, but it does not make me a master of that. And no one is ever a master of any craft that they practice. You could be a Shaolin monk or a Buddhist priest or whatever. You are never going to be a master. There's always going to be someone who is a step higher than you. And in my videos, I always preach about making magic yours. But you have to know the basic foundations in order to make magic yours. Just because you read tarot cards doesn't automatically mean that you can cast successful spells. It doesn't necessarily mean that you can't, but you have to have that foundational knowledge to know that, okay, well, this spell calls for a black candle, but I only have a white candle. Okay, so, utilize what you have. That is fine, but to completely say, I'm going to completely throw out the door this ritual that has been prepared for this specific task and just rework it. Well, sometimes it can work like that, sometimes it can't. Just like cooking, you don't ever want to, like if you're making sugar cookies, you're not going to forget to put the sugar in there because then they're not going to be sugar cookies. But you could use sugar substitutes like honey or stevia or something like that and still get the same results. That is what I'm trying to portray to my student, who has, at this point, said 1.5 years, enough is enough. Nothing is working out for me, so why should I do this? spiritual burnout is a serious thing. And it happens to all of us. Doesn't matter how devoted you are or whatever. There comes a time in your spiritual life and your spiritual practice where you do get burnt out and you start to think, what is the point of all of this? Now, the way that I explain it to her, because she's coming from a mainstream secular background, is that it is a Jovian task. It's a task like what God, or what Jesus, the Christian God, whatever you want to call him, Yahweh, what Yahweh had put on Job. He made Job go through all these different tasks, trials and tribulations, and Job never lost his faith, and always gave blessings and always gave thanks to God for what had happened in his life. His wife was killed, blessed are you, Almighty Lord, thank you for giving the time that I had with her. That kind of stuff. And I told my student, listen, you cannot look down your nose at this spirituality. It needs to be a part of your life. Just because it doesn't work like that for you, I'm telling you, you cannot be a spiritual person secondary. Your spiritual life should be just that, your life. There's not a time that I go throughout the day that I'm not performing some kind of magic, doing some kind of energy work, doing some kind of something. Even when I'm sick, I will still utilize what little energy I have, even though you're not supposed to practice while you're sick because you don't have the concentration and the fortitude to maintain the spell work or whatever it is that you're doing. That's fine, But for the most part, like if I'm driving, I'm constantly in the back of my mind thinking of protection spells and things being around my car, in front of my car as a buffer, behind my car and on the side of my cars as buffers. I'm waving my hand and putting my energy out into the stoplight so that it'll turn from red to green. I even have a little chant that I say whenever I come up to a stoplight, and a whole little ritual that I do that doesn't require any tools, bells, or whistles. Simply, a lot of times my hand's on the steering wheel and I'll just go like that, And in my mind, this movement, or me blinking, I'm blinking down the color, because it goes red, yellow, green, right? So I'm thinking and going like this, blinking, and putting that intent behind it that I'm blinking down the red light to the green light. And I will also say, lights of red, turn the green, and allow my passage be. And then I'll count 1, 2, 3, and then I'll blink. And that whole little ritual and that little saying, I see in my mind's eye the light going from red to green and allowing me to continue going through. That's just part of what I do. In the computer world, they have these little shortcuts called macros, where you program a key function, say like Control C. Okay, we all know that Control C or Command C copies something. Well, that is considered a shortcut or a macro. I do things in my life that are macro. So like when I'm driving and I do the little finger wave, to me that's an entire spell, ritual, words, everything else, because I have that programmed in my mind that when I do that hand motion, that's what happens. So that's what I mean by living your life as a spiritual person. If you look at any other religion, priests are not a priest only on Wednesdays and Sundays. They are a priest Monday through Friday, or 7 days a week, whatever, 24/7. They are a priest. They are a spiritual holy person. A monk, 24/7, spiritual person. You cannot be a part-time witch or a part-time magician or whatever. It has to be something that you live, something that you do every single day. You don't have to do a shit ton of spells and rituals every day. You don't have to run out and sacrifice a chicken every day. But, lighting an incense, lighting a candle, ringing a bell, looking at a picture of your patron god or goddess, or having a veve, or something like that, just taking a moment in your day to thank you, universe, thank you, God, thank you, goddess, thank you, mother and father, for just everything that you have done for me today. Today is a stressful day, but, just help me get through it and learn the lessons that I need to learn this day. That right there, that's huge. That's purposeful. That's meaningful. That's connecting with your higher power. That is living the lifestyle. That is taking time to appreciate the gifts that the God, goddess, universe, whatever you want to call it, has bestowed upon you. Many times people get it mixed up, though. They think that the universe is an ATM, that they can just put it out there and it comes right to them. They still have that idea of Hollywood witchcraft, where you light a candle, you say some gibberish words, and Bob's your uncle the next day or within minutes, what you have cast has come full circle, and it's there for you. That's not how it works. God, Lord, I wish that was the case, because I would bibbidi boo my house into complete repair and clean and never have to ever lift a finger to do anything, but that's not how it is. Also, when you are coming to the universe as a spiritual person, as a person who is a practitioner of magic, or whatever it is that you want to label yourself or call yourself, when you are coming to the spirits and the elements and all that stuff as a practitioner, it's kind of like a crock pot. You set it and you forget it. You put your petition out into the universe. Blessed Mother, Goddess Divine, hear this prayer of mine. Right now, I'm in financial destitute. I have bills that are accruing by the moment and no end in sight. I need financial stability and help. I ask for the untold bounties of the universe to be bestowed upon me so that I may take care of being able to make those small home repairs that I need to be able to do, to fix the brakes on my car, to help me pay for the tags on my car, and to just give me a little bit of extra wiggle room. Blessed Goddess, please help me with these things. There, that's it. You said, you put that energy out into the universe, you forget it, you walk away, and you accept the blessings that come into your life. Those blessings may not be right away. Those blessings might not be big and grandeur. Those blessings may not be the $350 that you need. It might be finding $10 in your coat pocket, or finding some money on the street, or somebody randomly giving you money. Whatever denomination that comes into your life that you don't have at that particular moment is a blessing from the universe. Yeah, you find $5 in the washing machine, but that was $5 that you forgot that you had. And so you thought, okay, well, you know what, maybe I just miscalculated. I thought I had more money than I did. We have all done that. but for whatever reason, boom, there's that $5 or $10 that you were missing. Well, that was a gift to the universe. That could have been lost forever. That could have, like I said, that could have been lost forever. But universe, God, spirit, goddess, whatever the hell you want to call it, has brought that back into your life so that you have that little bit of money. And I'm not saying that there's no footwork to be done when you put out a petition. Say, like, you want to get a new job or whatever. Put the petition out into the universe to your patron, god or goddess or saint or whatever it is that you find spiritually relevant. I'm just going to say your higher power. So put this petition out to your higher power. Blessed Lord, Father above, hear me. I just really need a new job. And I'm unhappy with the progress that I've made at this job. I feel stagnant, and I feel like there's time, that the time for me to move on is at hand. Please bless me with something new to come my way. And then, after you've said it and forget it, then go and look through the classifieds or look for a new job a day or two later. Give your magic time to marinate. Give your magic time to work. And that's what this student isn't understanding. The other thing, like I said earlier in the video, the universe is not an ATM. You cannot just go to it and say, I need XYZ, and expect it to be delivered to you. You have got to put in work. So many times people don't want to go through the struggle. Well, if I'm lighting a candle and I'm doing the prayers and I'm doing the spells and the rituals and the this and the that and the, it should work. Well, it will, but what struggles have you personally gone through? So many times people don't want to walk through the mud. And they don't want to fall, they don't want to struggle. But that's part of the learning process. We don't know what our higher power has in store for us. We have no idea what is laying just beyond that hurdle, just beyond that obstacle. Every negative thing that happens to us, there is a sliver of positivity and just hope in that momentary despair. Look at every negative thing that has happened or that will happen to you for the positive. Okay, my car broke down. Fuck, this sucks. This is the worst time. I don't have the money for it. I've got this interview on the other side of town. I got to pick up the kids from school. What am I going to do? Take that moment to look at the positive aspects of it. Maybe you have been talking about wanting to get back into shape or working out. Your car having those issues gives you that exercise that you've been wanting. So now you're having to walk to the bus stop. You're having to walk to work. You're having to walk to do these things. And I know it's extremely difficult to do that when you are really upset or depressed or whatever else. It's like, what more can happen, right? You never want to tempt fate or the universe or whatever with what else can happen, what else can go wrong, what else, That's like, okay, you don't think that your struggle is enough right now? Let me go ahead and add 20 more pounds to it. So, always try to look at the positive aspects of a negative situation. It is very difficult to do because after a while you start to feel like you're getting Stockholm syndrome. The whole house is on fire and you're sitting in the middle of it. Oh, this is fine. I understand. I suffer with depression and bipolar mood swings and stuff like that. So trying to find the positive in the negative is a very difficult thing. But when you live your life moment to moment and you learn to roll with the punches because you don't know what's on the other side of that. Maybe you have an older car and it breaking down where it sucks and everything like that, and you're having to jostle your schedule and your life around, and you're starting to have to take the public transport or whatever. Look at the positive implications of that. By having to take the public transport, you're going to be around people, you're going to meet people. Maybe that is what needed to happen in your life for that lover to come into your life. Maybe that is what needed to happen to keep you from being in a serious wreck. There's all these different things that you can look at. Again, yeah, I understand. It sucks. Go ahead, cry, scream, throw a temper tantrum, but then collect yourself and, okay, let's go. Let's do this. Let's do whatever we gotta do to make it through to the next thing. And my student just isn't understanding that. And so the other day when we were together and we were talking, they made the declaration that they weren't going to be doing it anymore. And I said, you know what? That's fine. If that's what you feel you need to, but just know that yes, it does work, but you look down your nose at it and you don't put anything into it. You cannot expect to receive gifts when you don't bless others. You have to bless and put out without the expectation of being paid back, without the expectation of having something come into your life. One of the things that I made a promise to my higher power was that when I received a car, if I ever saw anyone at the side of the road hitchhiking, that I would stop and pick them up and give them a ride as part of my penance for receiving that car. Now I know that sounds really negative or whatever, but I will pull over and I will pick up a hitchhiker, and I've taken hitchhikers 20, 30, 40 miles out of my way just to help them along, and then turn around and came back home. I keep an emergency supply kit in the back of my car that has food, water, clothing, medical supplies, whatever else. Whenever a hitchhiker comes into my car, first thing I ask them, hey, is there anything that you need? Do you need water? Do you need food? Do you need Band-Aids? Whatever. And if they say that they need that, I'll go when I drop them off as far as they want to go, or as far as I'm able to take them. I will go into the back of my car and give them like a can of food or some toilet paper or whatever it is that they said that they need that I have on hand. If I have a few extra bucks, sometimes I'll give it to them. I've given people my very last dollar where I'm sitting there struggling, trying to think of how am I going to feed me and my family? How am I going to get gas to get to work tomorrow? How am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? And that's my last $5, but I've given it away to a complete stranger or to a panhandler. Just because I know what it's like to have absolutely nothing. So, if that means that I have to eat beans and rice for 3 or 4 days, that's a blessing that I have that this person on the street doesn't have. Will they use that money for drugs or alcohol? That's not for me to decide. That's not for me to judge or put upon that person. Or tell that person, oh, fuck off, you need to get a job, you you bum, or whatever. No, they don't need to hear that. That's more negativity that you're putting onto that person, and that's not being a good spiritual person. You always want to bless other people. You want to give of yourself. You want to help without expectation of payment or reward. And my student, she looks at me and she sees that I have all these things, that I have a car, that I have insurance on that car, that I was able to go on a all expense paid cruise, that I was able to do this or that or the other thing, but she doesn't see all the behind the work or behind the scenes work that I do. I'm a genuinely nice person. I try to help people, even if it's passing along a coupon that I clipped out of the day's paper or in that junk mail that always comes to us. I always try to help wherever, whenever I can. There are times where my Mr. Overon, don't do this. Okay, cool. I'm not going to do that. I'll listen to my spirit and it'll say, don't do this. Okay, cool, spirit. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to just move on and call it good. Sorry, buddy, don't have it right now. Just paid for everything on card, even though there's $15 in cash in my wallet. You've got to listen to your intuition as well as just being a generally good person. You've got to give of self to receive. Simple as that. My student doesn't understand that. Doesn't want to go through the hardships. Doesn't want to have egg on their face. Constantly ringing the doorbell. Universe, 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 universe. God, spirit, goddess, whoever, patrons, saints, angels, angelic beings, whatever. I need your help. 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 I'm not going to do this. I can't do this. Where is the struggle? Where is the strife? How are you supposed to learn the lesson that is in that? They don't want to do that, and they find that they're constantly left wanting. You're going to be left wanting if you don't give something. Yeah, the first 10, 15 times may be, okay, here you go, here you go, here you go, here you go, here you go. And if that's for all the small little shit, when something big and dramatic and drastic happens, and you call on to the universe, help me, crickets. Like, she would invoke the angels. I told her, you use whatever archetype you need in your spiritual life, but she would invoke the angels in the universe. Please, universe, help me find a parking spot. Why are you going to use a petition on something so simple and mundane as finding a freaking parking spot? That's not what that's for. That's not what you do. You don't... Please, universe, help me find my hairbrush. Really? No. There are things that you need to do without bothering your higher power about it. And I get on her about that. I'm like, don't ask the universe for a freaking parking spot. Just drive around and look for one. Or the other thing that will anger me is my student has a disabled placard. If you're watching that outside, if you're watching this video outside of the U.S., here in the U.S., they have these little placards that you hang from your rearview mirror, and it lets police and parking lot attendants know that you have a disability and that you're supposed to be able to park at these special handicap spots. Well, There will be a parking spot here, car, handicap spot. She will park in the handicap spot and then walk the entire store. I'm like, why couldn't you park two cars back? Well, I have this placard, so I'm supposed to park there. I'm like, yeah, but what if there's somebody with cerebral palsy or in a wheelchair or utilizing a walker? You are capable of doing these things. So park outside of a handicap spot and go in. Like, there's been a couple of times where I've gotten on her about that, and it's become a mute point. I'm just like, okay, you know what, whatever. So anyways, I'm rambling. If you've been with me this long, I am super appreciative of it. Anyways, I'm gonna cut it off there. Just, if you take nothing else away from this video, it is that you need to set it and forget it, and know that you putting requests out into the universe, regardless if it's spell work or if it is a ritual or whatever else, just because you've done that spell, just because you've done that ritual, does not mean that it's going to happen for you within 24 to 48 hours. It could be a year, it could be 12 years from now, but you need to do your spell and ritual, set it and forget it. You have to go through the struggle. You have to go through the strife. You have to go through the bumps in the road. Now, if you get too bogged down, too mired, and you feel like you are at your absolute wit's end, and you haven't thrown any magic or any spells or whatever at your problem or your situation, when I start to feel overwhelmed and stressed and like, okay, I can't go any further, I will connect with my higher power and just say, Blessed Mother, Goddess Divine, hear this prayer of mine. My cup is overflowing right now, and the burden is too much for me to deal with. Please lessen the load. Allow me to learn the lessons that I was supposed to learn during this time period, but I really need help. It's too much for me to deal with right now, and I'm feeling overwhelmed. I'm putting it out there that I still wish to learn the lesson, but I just need help. Please take this burden and lighten it for me. And I will feel 100% better, and by the next day, everything has dissipated, and I feel better, and I feel more empowered, like I have the tools, the ability, and whatever to undertake whatever task it was that I needed to do. So, just remember, guys, the universe is not an ATM. Go through the shit. Be thankful. Live a spiritual life. You cannot do this secondary. You cannot be a business person first, a witch second, or a magician second, or whatever. Once you start down this path, it is a lifestyle. It becomes your life. Remember that. It has to be genuine from the heart that you are doing these things. You cannot just take without giving. Be selfless. Put yourself outside of your comfort zone. Help your neighbor. Be neighborly. Be friendly. Be part of the community. Don't be somebody who is in the community. Be part of the community. Help your fellow man. Get on Facebook, Craigslist, something like that. Look in the local Buy Nothing. They have this project that's worldwide called the Buy Nothing Project. Go on there, get involved in that group, see if there's someone who needs something. Look around your house. Hey, I have these old throw pillows that are still in good condition, but I would like to get some new ones. Maybe a new curtain, some valances, something like that. Put it out into the universe. Hey guys, I have XYZ to give, whatever. Let it go and bless somebody else with what you have. That's the gist of it. Just bless others more than you try to bless yourself or ask for blessings for yourself. Be genuine. Do not expect repayment. Do it because it's the right thing to do, because it's what you would want done for you. Anyways, I'm done. So if you need to get a hold of me, you can send me an email at to mroveron@gmail.com. You can also go to the website mroveron.com, schedule a tarot reading, personal consult. I can do readings on the phone, through instant messenger, through email, whatever. Yeah, so I'm here for you guys. If you have future video suggestions, please put them in the comment section down below. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, put them there also. And I will talk to you all later. Bye, witches!